What up, though? This is Kevin Melson with Beyond Your Limits Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how you can become a better shooter. But before we do that, I just want to remind you that in the description below, there's a link where you can get my free ebook, 21 Drills to Build a Solid Basketball Foundation. So let's get to it. Shooting, in my opinion, is the most important skill in all of basketball. I've had this debate with a couple people. So I want you to let me know what you think in the comments. What's the most important skill in basketball? I happen to think it's shooting, just for the simple fact that it's the team that makes the most shots wins. If you can't make a shot, you can't win the game. But let me know what you think in the comments. All right, this leads me to my first tip, which is to keep your eyes on the basket. I've had many students and teammates that focus on different things while shooting. Some focus on the back of the rim. I know other people that focus on the front of the rim, and even some people that focus on a imaginary center in the middle of the rim. And I've seen people have success doing all three of these things, which leads me to believe that it's not really so much what you focus on, but that you're consistent with what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on imaginary center of the rim, you should always focus on that while you're shooting. You shouldn't switch it around or whatnot, but just be consistent on what you're focusing on and getting your shot. And that's the first tip that I have for you guys, is just to keep your eyes on the basket. Tip number 2 is to have good balance when you shoot. And I always get people that tell me, well, Michael Jordan shoots fadeaways, and this player, this NBA player, that NBA player, a lot of NBA players shoot off balance shots. And what I tell them is that, that's fine and dandy, but you want to make sure you master the fundamentals first. You want to make sure that you can hit a shot with good balance before you start working on fadeaways and all these leaning shots and those type things, which a lot of NBA players do, but I'm sure they can also make a shot standing still with good balance. So you want to make sure that you master that first before you move on to more advanced things. All right, next up, you want to limit your guide hand. And this is a problem that I still struggle with today, just from bad habits from my youth. Your guide hand, the hand that's on the side of the ball, I tend to put it more in front, and I can't get it out of the way in time to release the shot. So you want to make sure that your guide hand, that you limit it, that you're getting it out of the way of your shot. Because a lot of times the mistake I had, I wouldn't get my guide hand out the way fast enough, and it would pull the ball to the left when I shot. And that's just something that I have to consciously think about, because I made it a habit after so long shooting that way. But you want to make sure you limit your guide hand. You don't want it to dominate the ball. You want the direction of your ball to go from your shooting hand, not your guide hand. All right, next up, you want to make sure you use your legs to power your shot. You shouldn't use your arm strength to have to get the ball to the rim. So if you're struggling with your arms to get the ball to the rim, you're probably shooting out of your range, or you're using your arms too much on your shot. You want your legs to power your shot. Get a good shot, shoot on your way up, and the ball will almost fly out your hand if you're using your legs properly. And that's a great way to get more distance on your shot as well. Just concentrate on your legs and using your legs to power your shot. The next tip I have for you guys is shot preparation. Be ready to shoot the ball before the ball even gets there. Have your hands up, showing your teammates that you're ready to catch the ball and ready to shoot. When the ball is on the way, you should already be going into your 1-2 step to get your shot off. Some people hop into the shot and then go up, but you should be ready as the ball is coming. You should be ready to catch and go right into your shot. That'll help you a lot in getting your shot off. That can be the difference between either getting your shot blocked or getting the shot off clean. So you want to make sure that you're ready and prepared to get your shot off before the ball even gets there. Next up is confidence. And I believe this to be the biggest factor within shooting and basketball, period. You got to have self-confidence in yourself. Some people believe that shooting is all about mechanics, and if you do the right thing the right way, that the ball will go in. But I believe that you have to have confidence that that shot is going in. You put in the work, you should believe that every shot is going in. It doesn't matter if you missed the last 10 shots in a row. If you've worked, if you put in the work, you should know that that next shot is going in, and shoot with confidence. And this is the biggest factor when a lot of people go through slumps, where you see great shooters can't seem to make a shot. It weighs on their confidence, and that allows people to stay in slumps. But the more you see the ball go in, people get confidence. That's why they say If a shooter is in a slump, don't let them get to the free throw line. Don't let them see the ball go in the basket, because that builds up their confidence. Their confidence is a big factor in how you shoot the ball and if it goes in or not. I believe that's the number one key factor in just basketball period, is your self-confidence, your belief in yourself that your shot is going in and that you can get the job done. All right, I don't remember what tip we're on, but the next tip is that you want to shoot in rhythm. It's a lot easier to shoot the ball when you shoot in rhythm. When you're stepping into your shot to shoot it, if that's a 1-2 step into your shot, or some people hop into their shot, whichever one it is, you want to shoot in rhythm. It's hard to catch the ball standing flat-footed and go down and back up and shoot it and make at a higher percentage. When you're shooting in rhythm, you'll always shoot in a better percentage. When people walk into a shot, it's a lot easier shot to shoot than if you're just standing there flat-footed and catch and shoot. That's a much harder shot to shoot. So you want to make sure that you're shooting in rhythm when you shoot the ball. All right, now you want to make sure that you spread your fingers wide on the ball. You want to make sure you have your fingers over as much of the basketball as possible. You want to guide the ball with your middle finger. Some people do it with their index finger. I like the middle finger, or some people even do a split in between where you guide the ball to the basket. But you want to make sure your fingers are wide on the ball so you can have more control over where the ball goes. If your fingers are closer together, it's easier for the ball to slip off to one side or the other. So you want to make sure you spread your fingers wide, and using either that middle finger or the index finger to shoot with the basketball. I prefer the middle finger. Some people shoot with the middle of the ball right in between, and that's fine as well. The next tip is that shooting in practice and your team practice is not enough. If you want to become a great shooter, you have to shoot before practice or after practice. You need to find another time to get shots up to become a great shooter. Because while I'm sure in your team practice, they do have time for personal development where you may go through shooting drills, but I'm also sure that that's not enough, because that'll only be a small part of your team practice. And a lot of your team practice will go towards, learning your plays, running your sets, your defensive schemes and all those type things. And there's really not a lot of time for just shooting. So you want to make sure, if you want to become a good shooter, that you have to get to practice before practice and get you a lot of shots up, or stay after and get some shots up, or another time during the day. But your team practice is not enough shots to make you an elite shooter. All right, next up, you want to practice shooting while you're tired. After your long practice, you want to stay in there and get some shots up. This is perfect for you to understand when at the end of the game, when everybody is tired, you don't want your shot to come up short. You want to be used to shooting where your body is fatigued. You still want to be able to make the shots, because those are the biggest shots, the shots that people remember, the ones at the end of the game when you're down 2 and you hit the 3 or whatever the case may be. Those shots at the end of the game are more important than the ones at the beginning of the game. So you want to be able to make those shots while your body is tired, and you want to get your body used to making shots while it's tired. So you want to make sure that you practice shooting while your body is tired. All right. Now you want to know your hot spots on the floor. Every shooter knows different spots on the floor, on the court, where they're confident shooting. They know that they can shoot really well at these spots. So you want to figure out what spots work for you. Maybe you're a good corner 3-point shooter. You always want to know where you have the most chance of making a shot, where you feel the most comfortable shooting the ball. And you want to get to those spots as much as you can, whether it be a elbow jumper, a wing 3-pointer, top of the key, whatever the case may be. You want to know where you're good shooting at, where you feel the most comfortable on the court shooting the ball. And during the game, you want to get there as much as possible. And the very last tip I have for you guys is to don't expect instant results. Don't work on shooting for 1 week and then you're not shooting better and say, oh, I can't shoot. You have to it takes repetition. It takes a long time to become good at anything, really. So you just want to make sure you stick to it, even if you're not seeing results right away, the first week, the first month, whatever the case may be. Keep going, keep doing, keep putting up your shots. How many ever shots you shoot a day, 500, 1,000, whatever the case may be. If you count your makes, count your misses. But you should also track your shooting progress as well. But don't expect to become a great shooter overnight. These things take time, so take your time, continue to work on it, and over time, I'm sure you'll become a great shooter. All right, those are the tips that I have for you guys. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you got any value out of this video. I really appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for the next video. All right, thanks.